Your Comedy Minute. I'm Scotty T. I have a wonderful young comedian named Dani De La Cruz with me today. Danny with an I, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You notice I slipped that Danny with an I in there.
I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, a little razzle dazzle. You throw them
Well,
both.
we got to let them know up front.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, well, San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas, south side of San
That's
Antonio.
where you're at right now.
Yes.
Okay. Were you born and raised in San Antonio, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's boring as shit.
I mean, I grew up on the south side, so it wasn't too
Yeah.
bad. I had some
No, well, I mean,
excitement.
for instance, I have Hot 97.7 FM
Oh, yeah.
radio from Fresno, California. I thought there was a story there.
Well, there is. So this was last year, I
Well,
guess,
you,
when I
you
was kind
stop
of
your
like,
lying for shit's sake. We just got started and you're already lying.
I don't lie. Girls don't lie.
I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. Okay, tell me about what that is. Hot 97.7 FM radio, Fresno, California.
So last year I was doing a lot of podcasts. I was more active on social media, so I was more active in the podcast scene. And I had just gotten out of jail. I was in jail for like 3 weeks.
Whoa,
And
whoa, 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 whoa. Pump the brakes. Forget not tell me you just got out of jail.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's start there. Forget the radio station.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll get to jail. I didn't know we had jail in the picture. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. It's been a
Okay.
crazy couple of years. Um,
A couple of
I tell you about
years. Holy
not that I
shit.
was in jail. No, it's just been like my life's been kind of crazy the last year. I was in jail for three
Go ahead.
weeks.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Well, I'm
Um,
starting. Boys is starting to come to fruition now. It's starting to all come together for me.
am I still on Hot 97? Is that where I'm at?
What's that?
Hot 97 still?
Yeah, yeah. Start
Okay,
there.
okay.
Let's go
Um,
there, and we'll keep going down the list. I got a whole list here.
okay. So I got out of jail and I kind of hadn't done podcasting for obviously 3 weeks, but I didn't know like if they were still gonna let me come back.
Okay.
And I saw someone post on Facebook that they're looking for a radio morning show female co-host. And I was like, well,
Right.
I check all those boxes, you know? So I messaged them, they responded. I sent them a couple of the reels and TikToks that I've done and clips from other podcasts. And they had me come in the following week to do like a test run. And so I came in on the
When
first
you say
episode.
go in, did you actually go to California?
No, we were
Oh,
streaming
just
it here
all.
from San Antonio. It was in someone's garage. They were like doing it from someone's garage, a DJ's garage. So like for a minute, I was like, this looks like a big trap. You know, I'm walking into someone's house. Like, but this is exactly how if I'm gonna get kidnapped or trafficked, that's probably how I would fall for it. Come do a podcast. Cause I've shown up to some sketchy podcasts.
Okay,
Thank God they've all
okay,
been great. So I went for my first episode to do a guest spot on the show.
okay.
I guess I did well. They were like, okay, the next day come back, you got the job. Cool. The next day I come back. The show went so well. They're like, okay, these guys don't know what they're doing. We want to give you a morning show. This is my second day. And I'm just like, okay. This is a Friday. On Friday, they're like, all right, this is their last day.
You're on the
So on
morning
Monday,
show on Monday.
yes, my morning show starts on Monday.
Okay, all right,
Luckily, I had already planned on having a podcast, so I had a theme, I had a name, I had everything
okay.
lined up. But had I not, I don't know. They're like, you need to give us a name by Monday, what you want your show to be about, what it's
Okay.
going to be about, who's going to be on it. It was crazy.
So
But
that's
it was the catch. It was free. We weren't paid for it. I did it personally for exposure. I did a lot of shit these last 3 years
what a
for
gig.
exposure to
What a
get my
good
name out,
gig.
but it worked. So we did it Monday through Friday for 4 hours a day, 8 to 12, or 6 to 10 in California, 8 to 12 our time.
Okay.
But we would stream it live on Facebook here for about 2 hours. And so our fan base grew. We grew followers. I grew followers from California and
Okay.
it had it for maybe about 2 months. And they were getting mad because my DJ wouldn't give them more free work. And so they suspended my whole staff and they're like, what are you going to do Monday? And I'm like, you didn't even tell me you got rid of my whole team. Like, I can't find another producer. I can't find another DJ. It was crazy.
Right.
And then for free. So it kind of fell through. That's what happened with Hot 97.7.
Okay.
But it was a cool
Okay. Let's
experience.
let's let's move on now that I know we got
Yeah.
some other better stuff. Hell with
Yeah,
that.
it got boring after that.
Hell with them. Hell with them.
It worked. It worked.
The unladylike lady.
Yes.
I have so many questions.
Okay.
Well, first off, that's for people that don't know, and I'm being silly. Uh, you have a couple different monikers under like your Instagram page and on your Facebook page and this and that. which I'm going to touch on another one. But on Instagram, it's the unladylike lady. Now, how did you get? I mean, go ahead. I mean, I'll throw this out. Do you burp? Do you fart? Do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I think the Unladylike Lady started like maybe
I'm
15 years
sorry.
ago. No. That's honestly a great point because for me, I tell people, the best thing to do when you're home and you don't have to be a lady is when you're able to sneeze like a fucking savage. Like when you can sneeze and let the whole sneeze come out. Yes, it's almost better than like an orgasm at sometimes because you're like, damn, like you can feel the whole sneeze. Otherwise, at work, you're like, no, at home, like a little spit comes out sometimes, I'm just saying, but you don't worry,
Okay.
you're at home. It's just those things that like we
Who?
kind of have to suppress. We have to kind of tone down
Yeah.
into general public because we're ladies.
Who gave
And we can.
who gave you the name?
I did.
Oh, you gave it to yourself.
Yeah. I started calling myself the unladylike lady because I was like, I know I look like a lady, I can dress, I can talk like a lady, but the moment I don't have to be, or the moment I'm off
Okay.
the clock, my voice changes, everything kind of
Okay.
snaps off.
All
And
right.
for the most part, most women have to do that at some point.
Oh
For the
yeah,
most
yeah.
part, all day. Yeah.
My sister, and I'll never forget it. I would call my sister and be like, "Hello, oh Scotty, it's you." It was like
Yeah.
two different people. That's no shit. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah. My daughters will make fun of me when I work
She
from home
wasn't
during
sure
quarantine.
this was pre-caller ID. This is going back, years. So she had no idea it was hello.
She was ready.
Yeah, she's in her sex voice, her sexy voice. Oh,
Oh, we all
Scotty,
got
it's
that
you. Listen, I'm waiting for a call. Okay. Take care.
That's funny.
When did you start doing comedy?
That depends when you start counting. I've been
Well, we got to start somewhere.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I've always
In
wanted to
other
do
words,
this, and I've
when
been
you were born, like for me, I've been a damn fool my whole life. So,
saying I've always been told I was funny all the time.
right,
Um, Low key, I always wanted to do comedy. I would watch Comic
right.
View, like Bruce Boost, the old late show on BT, and a lot of like stand-ups. And I always thought that was the coolest thing. I was a big fan. I didn't think I realized then I wanted to do it, but as I got older and more people kept telling me I was funny, I was like, well, maybe I can. So about 3 years ago, I was like, you know what? Let me just try it. I turned my Facebook on public. I started being funny on Facebook, and
Okay,
it worked. And I got invited to do podcast. I got asked to open a comedy show when I've never even had done an open mic,
okay,
just from being funny on Facebook. So that's I started 3 years ago being funny and like doing comedy on Facebook
okay,
with the
right,
intention of doing stand up. Stand up I've been doing for about 58 days.
okay. Well, the question there, which there's two parts there, obviously, but the catalyst 3 years ago was there. I always ask people about the catalyst that you finally said, like for me, I'll give you an example. I got fired for telling jokes. Okay, you don't know this because we just met, but
Right.
I got fired for telling jokes, and I came home and I was pretty upset, because I just wanted to bring joy to people's lives, and
Right.
now I got fired for telling jokes, and I remember again I was talking to my sister, and I said, I just wanted to bring joy to people's lives, and I don't know what hit me, it took me a few months, and all of a sudden I thought, maybe, maybe I should start doing comedy, and that's how your comedy minute started 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
Not,
Wow. That's
but I didn't mean to take over there. But so
no, no,
was there a
no.
catalyst 3 years ago when you decided? You said you made your Facebook page public.
Yes.
But what was
So
there a catalyst that caused you to do that?
I had just broken up with the boyfriend that I was with for like 6 years.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was a well, probably the best really one of the best relationships I've had. We had no trust
okay.
issues, nothing that normal, but the last 2 years were so terrible that when I got out, I felt so angry and I felt, I had chose my battles, throughout my relationship to
Yeah,
not be toxic and to be healthy and to
right.
work on what's right. But I felt like at the end, I had stayed so quiet about things that I thought, you know what I mean? I didn't put my input in a lot of things to avoid arguments or just.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I broke up. I was like, fuck this. I'm done staying quiet. I'm
Okay,
done. I'm going to do what I want. I know I don't do bad things. I know I don't hurt anybody. I'm just going to do what I want. So I left him. A few months later, I quit my job as well. Because I
okay,
started doing Lyft, but I would tell people jokes in Lyft. I would practice in there. If I'm on stage, what am I going to say? And so my Lyft riders would laugh. Like, I mean, I had great drives. So where I would tell them, I said, man, I'm gonna be a comedian one day when they would get off. I'm gonna be a comedian one day. Look for me.
Okay.
Remember my name. And the like lady, Dani with an I. And they're like, man. So for me, the day that someone comes and they're like, you're my Lyft rider, I'm gonna be like, yes, like I made it.
Okay.
That's badass.
Okay. Comedians that inspired you.
The first comedian that probably ever made me want to do stand-up, which people laugh at this, is Dane Cook when I saw Vicious Circle.
Okay. Right.
That one made me really actually like, okay, I want to do
I
this.
like, I
Kevin
like
Hart
Dave.
pushed it more. Before then, it was like the
I'm
Latin
sorry,
Kings of
because I
Comedy.
talked over that. Who was the second one?
Kevin Hart, like I like the way he
Oh
tells his
no, wasn't
stories.
there one in between there? Dane Cook
Um,
and then Shakur was there so
no, his
oh, okay.
special Vicious Circle.
Okay, good. Go ahead. So then Kevin
And
Hart.
then Latin Kings of Comedy, original Kings of Comedy, Comic View from when I was younger, and then just watching, I think Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle. I mean, I don't know a lot of the originals, a lot of the
That's okay.
OGs that like most
Let's move
comedians
on
do.
then. Do you have
But
comedians now that you really like? They can be, up and
Ali
comers or
Sadiq, Ali
I'm
Sadiq is
sorry,
someone that I was just introduced to.
who is it?
Ali Sadiq.
Yeah, okay. His name comes up.
Yeah, his he was really funny. Recently learned of him. Honestly, I haven't been watching a lot of stand up. I've been
Okay.
so consumed with the stand up comedians around me from producing shows that for
Okay.
me, meeting them and being around them is kind of like following
Okay.
the ones on TV. It's awesome. It's cool
Well,
people to
that
come.
ties into the next thing, highly toxic entertainment. Is that's something new that you're starting, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell people about that?
So my first stand up, I did a 5 minute set for an open mic. My friend forced me upstage, which is now my business partner. Um, After I did that, a friend who owns a restaurant was like, hey, put shows on at my place. I don't know how to put shows on. I haven't even done a show. So I asked my partner to go with me. And which at the time I thought he was trying to fuck me. So I was just like, hey, go with me to this meeting, talk to this guy, see what he says.
I'm
That's what it's
sorry. I don't
like.
mean to laugh.
That's the first thing I told him. And he'll be on here and he'll tell you the same story. But um we met with the guy and he's like, this is what I want. This is like on a Friday, maybe. That following
Okay.
Tuesday, which was June 7th, we put on our first open mic. That
Okay.
following Friday, we put on our first lineup of 5 people, which is at Steak and Bake, that they have steak night. And ever
You can
since
make
then,
steak and bake there in San Antonio. Is that the name of the place?
the name of the place is a Mexicana Cafe. It's a
Mexican.
cannabis
See,
infused.
what we're going to do is we're going to hashtag them, and then you get a little prop.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
get a
No, I
free
love it because
steak.
we do shows there every Tuesday and
Maybe get some
Friday.
onion rings.
We get onion rings. I want the
Okay.
macaroni rings.
Well, I mean, look, if we, you could say there, look, I deserve some free macaroni because I mentioned it. And the
Yeah,
guy
no,
put
I
on my
shout it
interview, look, he
everywhere.
put hashtag Mexicana Grill, whatever the hell it's
I
called.
love it. I'm excited because
Sure.
I'm hungry too.
Okay.
Um, but
I'm
yeah, we've
sorry.
been doing
I'm
shows.
being really stupid today. I don't know what,
I know it's
exceptionally
okay.
stupid.
It's okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
We've done it for 9 weeks. This past
Right.
Friday was our ninth week. Every week's been bigger than the last. We've had up to
Good.
between
Good.
an average of 8 to 15 comedians in our lineup every week. Been people who just want to do guest spots. So it's been awesome the amount of people who want to work with us, the success
Okay.
that our shows have produced. That we're putting more shows on there coming soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't know any of these people. I didn't know them maybe 2 days before we started working together, and we worked so well that neither one of us really had to tell each other what to do. We just all understood, and
Okay.
it blew up. So we started our LLC. We found our LLC, Highly Toxic Entertainment.
Okay.
It's me,
Good.
myself, Jameel Jackson, and C. Wayne. He's another comedian.
Okay. Okay. Um, I mentioned earlier, like, we have the unladylike lady, and then I think it's on Instagram because I looked at a couple things. Danny with an I on Instagram, and it says silly goose on the loose. You'll never find me where you found me. Now, the silly goose on the loose, I got it. The second part, I need a little help with.
Basically, wherever you found me or met me, if you were to find me or meet me again or like come back again, I won't be in that same place. Like I'm always moving forward. So like you'll never find me where you found me. I'm always gonna be somewhere else.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to go shopping with you.
I don't like going shopping, so it works out.
No, I'm just kidding you. I I'm trying to make you laugh. I'm trying.
Okay. You'll get one. You'll get one in there. I know. I feel it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Here
I'm
I'm
just
being nice. I was gonna
I'm
mention
sorry.
I was gonna try and mention Gallapalooza yet.
Galapalooza. I'm excited about Galapalooza.
Well,
So
you
excited.
see there, I'm being nice to you.
I
And
know.
you're
I'm sorry.
being a prick.
I'm sorry.
You really are. And you're not like any lady. Well, no, you are like every lady I ever met.
I'm an unladylike lady.
Okay, tell the people about Gallapalooza. You're in charge.
I'm excited. I'm excited because
Yeah, I
my
can
next
tell.
goal.
Boy, the excitement's just woo, woo, wee.
I know. I just came. I'm excited because at
You
the end of the
just
day, like,
came. I
yeah.
was breathing heavy. I didn't come, but I was breathing heavy. I don't know if you noticed. Oh wow, now you're laughing.
That was good. Yeah, that was clever. Excuse me.
Okay.
Um, my next goal or our next goal for the venue was to bring other acts in because the added element about our venue that makes it so special is it's it's consumable property, meaning we are legally able to smoke THC and enjoy cannabis in the restaurant. He does help sell pre-rolls, things like that.
Help me,
Um,
Lord Jesus. I think I've been hypnotized.
so we let people hotbox our comedy shows. It's a
I
private event.
I never inhale.
Never. Why? Like that's like saying I never swallow.
Oh, good Lord.
But I
Good
think,
Lord.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Jesus,
So
Mary and all the saints.
I want other people to bring their shows here and give their audience the opportunity to be able to smoke while they're watching the show. You know, it's
Yeah,
a great
okay.
way to enhance comedy. So
That's
I've
pretty
been reaching out to
cool.
certain people. I reached out to Stephanie Cook and Adrian Green to ask about, hey, do you want to bring Galapalooza here? I would love it. They're touring. They're kind of being in the area. They were down, and so that's cool. I have another show that's bringing their show here. So
You
we have a
think you
lot of
could
cool
get them
things
on my
coming.
little show here?
I can get anybody on your show. Yeah, I actually have a
Yeah,
couple
you
people that I
think
want
because
to
I
sign up
want
with you.
female comics. I love female
Yes.
comics.
Yeah, let me get
Okay.
I'll message them when we hang up and I'll tell
Hey,
them
I'm gonna get a double helping of macaroni and cheese from that place for you.
what
I'll
am I gonna
call
get
them.
for
I'll
I
call
want
them.
like if I'm gonna pimp out these female comics, you know what I mean? Like what
No,
does
no,
Gator get? What
we'll
does
talk
Gator
off
get?
we'll talk off the air. I'm just playing
I'm
with you.
just kidding.
No, but I really do. I've
No,
made it
I got
clear, and
you.
I want female comics. The more
I
the
have
better. I love
about
female.
maybe 5 or 6
Plus,
that I can send your way.
listen, Danny, I then get to talk to a woman for a little while.
I got you. I got you.
You
Yeah. I'll get you.
I do
Yeah.
a joke like that, Danny.
Do you want them all at the same time?
What's the difference between a pretty woman and a sexy woman?
I don't know.
How would I know? Women like that don't talk to me. Women like that don't talk to me. I talk to the
That's
big
all.
Nahefkas from Walmart with a moo.
That's me.
I'm teasing
That's
you.
me at Walmart.
Okay, so Gallapalooza's coming up. You got a couple of them actually. You just got done one, or you got? But one's coming up. I know
Galapalooza?
one's coming up.
Galapalooza, that's the first one we have. They're coming up on September 28th.
Okay.
They'll be here. They're gonna have 2 shows. They'll do a 7 o'clock show and a 10 p.m. show. That way there's a
Okay.
non-smoking and a smoking because not everybody can partake in the smoking, you know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we want to
All
make it
right.
fair
I
for
got it.
everybody.
Like an early show, late show. The late show would be the
Is the hot box
smoking.
show, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. 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 Okay. Now I know you've only been doing it a short period, but do you have a favorite show so far and a least favorite show you've done so far?
My favorite show that I've done, actually, I will say probably Port Aransas, which is my first out of town show that I did this last Thursday. Has
Where
been my
was that?
favorite
Where
show.
was that show?
Port Aransas in the Salty Dog Saloon.
Okay,
Um,
good. See, we're gonna mention that. We'll get you
yeah,
more macaroni and cheese. The hell's wrong
I know.
with you? Slow
I want more
down.
shots. I want shots, not
Shots.
macaroni either.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
There
okay.
you go. Now
Um,
you're talking.
I was so intimidated because I was excited that it was an out of town show, and I really wanted to do well because I wanted to make a great impression. I've
Right,
been very
right.
nervous doing this, but I didn't realize I'd spent the last couple weeks so focused on producing shows that I realized I didn't really spend any time writing my jokes or like focusing on my writing and stuff.
Okay.
But I think it helped because I didn't have so much pressure on it when I went up, and
Yeah.
it kind of flowed naturally. But I don't know why I expected the room to be full of Mexicans when I went in there. So when I went in, there wasn't, and it was a nice bar. There was a good crowd, but they were all white. And I was like, shit. like what am I gonna are they gonna laugh? Am I like how am I gonna relate to them? I'm not even from here. Are they giving me know what the word Theo means? You know what I mean? Like, do I have to
Yeah,
explain,
what does that
translate?
mean, by the way?
It means uncle.
Okay, Tio, Tio.
Tio, yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen that on a batch of your videos. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
So yeah, and one of my jokes that I talk about is like, I was molested, but at least it wasn't by one of my Theos. And I'm like,
Yeah,
if they
that's
don't
why
get that, then it's gonna be like, do I say uncle? That kind of takes away from I don't know. But it turned out well. I was very impressed. They laughed. I made them laugh actually. So I was very impressed that I could make a whole room of white people laugh. It was nice. So I think that so far that's probably been my favorite show. Mm, my least favorite show is probably got to be maybe the third show I did for my friend Ryan at Tank's Pizza. I was still very new, very, very nervous. And so I know I
okay.
didn't do well at all, but I know I've redeemed myself since then. So
Okay.
I'll have a new least favorite show very soon, I'm sure. Yeah, someone will take that
I
spot.
I'm still because I'm questioning now, because you mentioned the Mexican and the white, and I have gotten in a lot of trouble because of Mexican jokes.
Well, you're right.
Well, no, boy, nothing gets by you.
Yeah, no, no.
You're
Yeah, not
sharp
not
as a bowling ball.
I could have told you that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How do
I
you know
know
I
where
don't
I
have
can
some
stop joking,
Mexican in me?
I know my limits. Like I got a little bit more lag than you do, but even I know where to
Yeah,
stop.
right, right. Now, do you want me to do it? Do you want me to tell you what happened real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure?
I won't be offended. I can't
Okay,
speak
well, I'll
Spanish.
do.
You're
I'll
good.
just tell you because this is true, and I enjoy telling this story because I think it's funny. Uh, on Instagram, and I have YouTube, I have Instagram, TikTok, or I don't do TikTok, X and Facebook, and everywhere Reddit, anywhere I can put to try and make people laugh. And on Instagram, I put because I just do quickies, and I have them on my phone, and I boom, I do this one and that one. And on Instagram, I had a couple hundred followers, nothing, no big deal. And I just and I don't really, I don't want to say I don't give a shit. I just put it out. I'm just having fun.
Right.
And so one day my phone, ding, 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 and I had to
Oh,
actually stop the notifications because it kept going off. Like, what the fuck is going on? And here one of my jokes, where the joke was like 300,000 on Instagram. I was like, holy shit. And I went from a couple hundred followers to like 3,000 followers.
damn.
But there was a lot of death threats and you suck, you MAGA piece of shit, kill yourself, you Trump loving bastard.
Damn.
And, I just,
Hey, that engagement is necessary. I would start some shit just for the engagement, honestly.
the joke was if I had a nickel for every racist thing I ever said, some Mexican would probably rob me.
Okay, that's the joke. That was the one that you posted and
That
they
was
got
and
mad.
that well, and I think what it was, and it's still that's why I poke a little bit at Mexicans, just because here in the United States with the border and all that shit, that's a pretty good topic. It's like the one that you can poke a little bit. But again, there were a lot. I thought for a while the cartel was going to show up in front of my house. I guess that's why it hit a nerve with me when you talk about, an all white crowd versus a Mexican crowd. And I've done a couple hundred of these now where comedians talk about like, well, I was playing in Arizona versus when I was playing back in, here or there. So you
Yeah.
already felt that just going up, up the road a bit.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it. I guess I didn't think about like that it would happen one day, but or even expect something like that. But I knew eventually it was gonna happen. I've been in situations, I guess, where I just have maybe like a biased opinion that I'm like, great. Usually when I'm in a room full of white people, they're not very nice to me. You know what I mean? They're not very warm to me. Not that they're mean,
Really?
it's just, yeah, yeah. Like my daughter played tennis throughout school. And
Okay.
so that's a majority white sport. So we would
Yeah.
travel, go to other cities, and they're just not very friendly because I'm Mexican. And it's just like, okay, it's weird. Like for the smallest things, I'm just like in line ready to register her, and they just will like ignore you, or they'll just like
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm like, it is what you are. I don't care. But so when I was there, I was like, oh shit, like, all right. Am I going to be relatable to them? Am I going to be able to tell my jokes in a way that they're going to understand and it's going to be funny to them?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I feel like very, very like impressed and proud of myself for being able to do that and adjust my set to make it to where they did understand it. Cause on the spot, I kind of changed things up. So it was different from what I normally say. And I was very impressed that I can do that. So I'm honestly, if anybody's watching that supports me or has helped me along the way, like thank you guys. Cause that really helped. Like it really made me better.
No, and I don't want to be too serious because it is a comedy show, but I had Majo, I'm going to murder her last name, Riva de Nenera. Majo was on, and she's in Canada, but she speaks Spanish, and she worked hard to work on her English and get her English right. And now it turns out that there's more shows in Spanish, and she's actually making more money, and there's more sought after to do Spanish speaking shows.
I love that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the Latin community, the Hispanic community, it makes sense.
Honestly,
It-
that's what I wanted to do. I've been telling my partners about doing like, putting to lineups together of people that we know and our friends that are specialty. Like I want to do like a biker, people who know how to
yeah,
tell biker
right.
jokes, rocker jokes. The Spanish and all Spanish lineup for a Spanish
That's
comedy show.
exactly what
That
she's
was on
doing
my list.
in
That was on my list.
Canada.
No one's doing it. And here, especially, you know what I mean? Like so that's something I'm looking at right now. I've been talking to this, like, do y'all speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish? And ask
Yeah.
them about kind of putting their sets in Spanish. So that's in the works.
I think that would do well because I
I
think
think so
it's
too.
yeah, I really do. Not that I know anything. I'm dumb as a bucket of rocks, but
But it'll sound beautiful, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I think also I saw merchandise. You got some
Yes.
the ladylike lady merchandise you're working on. Is that right?
I've always been working on it, but I hadn't pushed it out because I really wasn't doing anything with the Unlady Like
Okay.
Lady brand, and I felt like it wasn't right. Once we started Highly Toxic, it worked so well with that that
Okay.
we're gonna push all the merch under Highly Toxic.
Okay.
Because the Unlady Like Lady's kind of grown, you know what I mean? Like she's not as toxic as she used to, and I don't want to keep all of that associated with that. So
Okay.
we've got the first thing that we're doing is like don't mess with exes. We're doing a don't mess with exes Texas tour.
Don't mess with exes from
And
Texas, right?
so we've got merch coming out with that. We've got our merch for our logo, our tour shirt,
Okay.
stickers,
Okay.
novelty things, a whole bunch of stuff. The hat that you saw, that's a hat that I had made for myself, but I knew we
Okay.
would pre-sell. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got about a few minutes yet, and I want to get to I want to well, let's do it now. I want to thank Dieta Dickerson for putting this
Yes,
together for us. It just came about, and I'm very thankful to her.
I'm
And
too.
I'm praying that you'll bring me more female comedians. And this is one of those I call it pennies from heaven, where you mentioned jail, and I got to know now. Okay, we're going to get to your comedy minute in a minute. I think we covered a lot of. If there's something we missed, we'll go back over it. But tell me how, because in all transparency, I've been arrested. Okay, I've DUI and I was arrested on another thing. So I'm just kind of curious how do you get thrown in the hoot scout?
Well, how the reason I was arrested and the reason I went to jail are two different things. Um,
Oh, I want them both.
okay, so I
You
had a
don't have to.
DWI.
I'm just teasing. You
No,
don't
I
have
don't
to.
care. I tell
Okay.
everybody I'm very open. I had a DWI that I never went to probation for, that I never served any of my term.
Okay.
So I went to my first meeting and I told the lady, my probation officer, I was like, look, I'm gonna end up in jail. I don't have money to stay out of jail. That's basically you're adding $500 extra a month to my expenses. After you took my driver's license away, I can't
Yeah.
drive.
How you do it?
So how, yeah. And I stopped going because again, I didn't have the money and I knew at some point she's gonna just arrest me when
Yeah.
I get
Okay.
there. So I didn't go. I ended up having a warrant, obviously. So
Yeah.
about a year later, I was working with my ex. We were driving in Floresville on our way to a job. I used to do like a land clearing, scrap metal,
Okay.
junk
Yeah.
removal.
Right.
So we've got a big ass trailer. We're driving in Floresville. But my ex and I, he's been my ex longer than he's been my boyfriend, right? We've dated for 2 months. He's been my ex for 3 years. But because I get
Okay.
more attention from him as an ex than I do as a girlfriend.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
works out. And
Right.
that at that time we were in a bad place arguing. That was the most toxic relationship I've been in, but like the funnest. So we're driving, and I'm a very calm person. It takes a lot for me to
Unladylike lady,
react.
you got to get a good one. Go
Takes a lot
ahead.
for me to react. So he's poking and poking and poking, and we're there. And finally, he said something, the right thing, that I'm sitting, and I just kind of pivot and I kick him in the face, like while he's driving. And he's just
Oh,
like, he's got a CDL. He can drive. I wasn't worried about dying. So I was just like, he's like, oh my God, I'm going to take you to the police station and tell him you assaulted me. And I was like, go, I don't care. So we go. He literally drives to the police station, parks, gets
oh
off, and goes
no.
inside. And I'm like, okay. Comes out 30 minutes later, and he's like, gets in the car, we leave. And I said, what happened? He's like, they're busy right now. They're gonna come get you later. I was like, okay, yeah, sure.
They
Get to the
came and
job
got you
site,
later.
games to the job site, and he said some shit again. So I grabbed the cup when he was grabbing it and broke his soda and threw it at him. And I was like, I'm gonna call, being dramatic, which I wasn't calling the cops. I was like, I'm gonna call the cops on you and tell them lie and say you did this. I pretended. Well, he actually called them. So I took off
All
walking. I'm
right.
walking
So,
down Floresville. Wilson County pulls up. They questioned me. They check my ID. I have a warrant. They take me in.
yeah. Okay.
I'm held without bond for 10 days in Wilson County before they transfer me to Bear County. And then I'm there for about another 9, 10 days in Bear County before they get me
Okay.
out. So
Well, I'm glad things worked out. I'm glad that you're out, and I'm glad you're doing comedy.
thank you, me
And
too.
I think you're wonderful. I love your honesty, and we don't have a lot of time yet. Make sure we cover. I know we covered the shows coming up and everything. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we get to your comedy minute?
I sucked no dicks to get here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's important. It's
Now,
important.
now, that makes people think that they have to suck dick to get here. There is
It's
no
not that
dick
they have to,
sucking.
but it's just like
There
it's
is no dick
everywhere.
sucking to get on your comedy minute.
No, 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 no,
I
no, not on
mean
your
it.
show, just in life, in this part of comedy and
Oh,
like producing
okay.
shows and
Yeah.
being where
We
I'm
want
at.
to,
I
could you
got no
clarify
dick suck.
that to the folks? There's no
No, I definitely had to suck your dick to get on this show, but I didn't have to suck any dicks to get to this point in my comedy
Jesus
career, is what I
Christ.
meanta Yeah.
There it goes. We're just
That's what
talking.
Deanna said I had to do. No?
Jesus
All right.
God.
That's what we said. You didn't stop me. Ah.
Wait, I just met you. You're in San Antonio,
Oh my
Texas.
God.
There's no goddamn way you came here to something. Oh my God, my temper's getting flaring like a pack of hemorrhoids.
I don't know, man. Frontier tickets are $19. I could have been there and back real
What's
quick.
your $19?
They are.
Well, I
How
already got you on the show. I don't need you to suck my dick now.
do you think I got here? I suck someone's dick. They're like, this is the guy. I don't
Oh,
know, maybe it wasn't
stop it.
yours, but
Stop it.
there was
Well,
someone.
before we get to your comedy minute, I got to know lasagna on your sign behind you.
Oh, okay. So this is a funny story. This
Lasagna, kazania, breakfast, lunch, lasagna. Oh yeah. Okay.
my
I
daughter,
love
she's 14
lasagna.
now. She's 14 now, but
I
back then
love.
she was
Hey,
maybe
do
about
you
9 or
make your
10.
own lasagna?
Yes, my daughter loves my everyone loves my lasagna. So my daughter
Ricotta cheese. I do it, man. Layer it up. The noodles. Yeah,
ricotta,
buddy.
cottage cheese.
Yeah, put it in there. Layer it up. Get it. Oh my God, big and good, hot and spicy, sweet and meaty.
Yeah. So my daughter made up this restaurant because she loves lasagna so much, and so I made her a sign for a restaurant. It used to be in my kitchen at my old house, but
She still has the restaurant.
it was just like a thing. She's like was
Oh,
very
okay.
creative as far as being in theater. So she would around the house had her restaurant. She made a commercial for it. I used to work at
Okay.
BBB, so we accredited her business. You know what I mean? It was cool.
Okay. All
It was really
right.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, Danny with an I loved having you here. You are fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for
and
having me.
look,
Thank you for being
if you
patient.
had fun, we'll
I
make a
did.
pact. I say this all the time. Come back in 6 months or so. We'll do this again. We'll see where you're at, see where the business is at, where everything's going.
Yeah, I'm down.
That
I'll
sound
come
good.
back
And
tomorrow if you want me to. No, just
there'll be no dick sucking. No, you don't have to suck any dick. You can come
well,
back
they told
and
me I only had to do it the first time, and then I'm in.
it didn't have to. Stop it. Stop it now. I'm getting pissed off. All right, Danny De La Cruz,
Yes.
your comedy minute. Let's go.
So one time I finally got a chance with my crush from middle school, right? From 7th grade.
What
I don't know
grade?
how I got it. Huh?
What grade?
He was my crush from middle school, like in 7th grade.
Seventh
But
grade.
like
Okay.
within 3 years ago, I finally like got to hang out with him. Like he started liking me on Facebook. We never talked back then, so it was cool. But yeah, it was I farted in his face and it was crazy. And I didn't think that I would do that, but he still called me back. Like he still called me to come back, which is cool because I mean, obviously it didn't bother him, but it's just crazy that like guys don't really give a fuck about a lot of shit.
When
Like,
hold on. I don't normally do this when someone's giving me their comedy minute. But you got together with seventh grade, the crush. Get me. How did you fart in his face?
so we
I mean,
went out.
Did he want you to fart in his face?
Mm-mm. I don't think so. I don't think anybody would want them to fart in their
And
face, but he
what?
didn't
So
seem
you,
bothered by it.
I have so many questions. Help me out here. What
Okay.
happened? You
So
get
we hung
together with
out.
him, like, okay, you're there at school, lunch break or whatever.
No. This is as an adult. I met him later. Like he was my crush from back then. So this crush from years and years and years as an adult, we got to hang out. We went out,
Okay.
went to his place after, and we started messing around. So we're on his couch and I'm on top of him sucking his dick while he's eating my
Oh my
ass. You know what I
God.
mean?
Oh my
And
God.
the pressure when I gagged on his dick made me kind of put pressure on my, I guess when I gagged, I farted a little bit while he was going, but it wasn't like a bad one. It was just like a little piece of air. And I kind of started laughing because I stopped and he didn't even stop. Like he just kept going. I was like, okay, then I just went back to business. And then it fucking happened again. I was like, oh my God. And again, he didn't stop. And I was like, okay. So no, nothing was said and nothing afterwards. But after we were done, right, he's like, what my dick kind of burned, and I was like, look, I'm sorry, I didn't expect to see you tonight, but I was eating hot Cheetos before I came over here, and I kind of tried to rinse my mouth out, but like I think when I gagged, I don't know, but it's burning me too right now. Like my shit was burning. So I didn't think he was gonna call me back, and he called me a few times after that. So
So, you
I
know,
don't know if that means that my pussy's really good, that like I can get away with shit like that, or like he's just like, I don't know. But I like to think I'm, if I can fart in your face and you're still gonna call me back, I must be.
wow. Wow.
So yeah, I
That
don't
was a
know.
comedy minute, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Well, my friend, it's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm
All
excited. I
right,
was
we're going
happy.
to
This
run
is
out
fun.
of time. Let me stop the recording. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stop the recording.
Bye.